I'm hearing it on the other end.
Oh, that's weird. Like an echo or?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm getting a rebroadcast, man. Not sure what's going on here.
Oh, from the recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not watching it on YouTube. Are you?
No.
Oh, I think I was. I think that's what's happening.
Oh, so you're hearing yourself talk and the delay.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's what was happening. So we got that fixed.
All right.
We're back where we should be. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beacon of Leadership. Today is our very first episode, officially under the Beacon of Leadership banner.
Awesome.
If you met us, if you came out and joined us for the Better Body, Mind, and Soul event, you got to know us a little, and we got to talk a little bit about Beacon of Leadership, what it means, and where you can find us. I'm RJ Horner. I'm the founder here and co-facilitator in a group that helps you find your leadership journey. That's one of why we use our tagline, bring your leadership to light, because you may not know what kind of leader you're going to be. You may not know where you should step in as a leader. And that's where we're going to work on helping you find your path as a leader and develop your following and help you serve those you're meant to. And so today, again, I'm RJ Horner, and I'm here with my partner, Curtis. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Curtis Leong, and I help RJ out with Beacon of Leadership. Together, we are trying to help leaders do better and guide them to be their best leadership they can be.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And we're in a global world where you can do pretty much anything, anywhere. And Curtis is right now out on a shopping run, so he's not with us in video, but he is here with us on the podcast in spirit. He actually forgot it was a conflict schedule, and he had to go out shopping instead of being here with us live on Beacon of Leadership. But that's how it works. You know what? We're in a modern era where we can roll with the punches. So, Curtis, thanks for still being here with us, even though you are out mobile, still doing the family thing.
Oh, no problem. It's all good. It's about being a leader. You got to be there when someone says be there. It's accountability, right? So I told you I was going to be here. So I felt that my accountability as a leader, that I show up. So
Absolutely.
Part of good quality being a leader, right?
Absolutely. And so make sure you get that in your calendar so you're with us next time if you can come out with us live.
I will.
So again, we are Beacon of Leadership. You can find us at www.beaconofleadership.com. I was supposed to have two guests join us tonight because, as I mentioned, we recently put on the Better Body, Mind, and Soul event where we had about 8 or 9 speakers come out and talk about different subjects on how they can help you discover your better life and help you build that better life, body, mind, and soul. So I've only got one person here with me right now. That's Dr. Stacy Cooper, and she is a health specialist. She's a chiropractor by trade, but her passion really has become about helping you create a healthy living. So thank you, Dr. Stacy Cooper, for joining us on Better Body, Mind, and Soul, and then for being with us again today as we help launch this program, Beacon of Leadership, and help it become something. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're most welcome, RJ and Curtis. Great to see you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. And again, you created a great interest in your cookbook, your healthy eating, your style of living that people really need to get their hands on. So tell us a little bit more about this magic cookbook that allows me to eat chocolate cake.
Of course, I would love to. And I'm so glad that you said about this healthy living lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle. It's not temporary. It's not a diet. It's not a fad. It's not something that you do for a little bit to regain your health and then go back to your old ways. It is truly a change, a desire that you want, that you know that you need to make in order to have a healthier life, that either you have had a diagnosis or maybe a health scare, or you're just coming to realize that, as time passes, as time ticks by, that you don't want to continue down the road that you may necessarily be on at this moment. You can kind of see where you're heading, and you want to make a change because you want to have an improved quality of life. You want to have quality, not just quantity, but you want to have a great life and being able to do all the things that you want to do, participate in all of the activities that you want to, not just grow old, sitting in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth and reading stories to grandchildren. You want to be able to be up and about and mobile and moving with the grandchildren and having experiences with them. Life is to be experienced, not to be viewed from the sideline. Do you want to get in the game? You want to participate, and you want to have that quality of life. So having a lifestyle is critical to seeing those outcomes change. Because like I said, a fad or something for a few weeks or a few months, it may get you a result short term, but your self-image that's within will guide you right back to where you were, because it's always seeking for the norm. It's always seeking to match the self-image that you hold. And so that's why diets don't work, because you know that you always gain back, if not the same amount, but even more after you get off the diet. And it's because of that seeking mechanism to match the self-image that you had. So making the change is very easy. And I teach how the body functions on the inside so that you can then make better choices, informed choices, so that you then know how you too can fuel your body better for better body function. And that's why the cookbook is called the Healthy Fuels Cookbook, fueling your body better for better body function. And it's about eliminating all of the inflammatory foods, eliminating the sugars that are destroying your system. And of course, the type 2 diabetic epidemic is an epidemic. And it's so heartbreaking to me that, number one, that food manufacturers are allowed to do what they're doing, that they're allowed to pump in so many toxins and chemicals and sugars and all of these things that are destroying the function of the body. That, number one, is criminal to me. But on the next step is that this is the first generation of children who will not outlive their parents. And it's simply due to the sugar content, a few other reasons, but the main aspect is the amount of sugar that is being consumed on a daily basis at this point in North American society and culture is equal to about as much as what used to be consumed in a whole year. Wow. And the body just can't survive that load that's being put on it. And that's when the parts start to wear out. And that's when you start to get signs and symptoms. So utilizing the recipes in the cookbook, there's smoothies, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. You also get your favorites like chocolate cake. We just make them a little bit differently. When you remove those inflammatory foods, remove those sugars, and still able to enjoy favorites like muffins and loaves and cheesecake and chocolate cake, all delicious, all very easy. All of my kids can make the recipes and they enjoy eating them too. If it doesn't work in my busy household, it certainly doesn't get into my cookbook.
Mm. And then, so me, again, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I've done a lot of work to remove sugars and to change my eating habits and adapt the lifestyle to a certain degree. But for whatever reason, I still want that, that sweet treat or whatever. I still want that in my life. So it's hard to make that decision to completely change into this lifestyle that you're talking about. How does somebody get to that? It's hard if you think
it's hard. It's hard if you think it's hard.
So how would I get my mindset shifted in the other direction?
Well, one of the biggest things that I share is when you have the understanding of what that stuff is doing to your body on the inside, and you know that that's not the path that you want to take, you know that that's not the outcomes that you want to experience, you know that you want something different, and then you come to understand what it is that you do want, that, what you want your life to look like. Now you have the want and the desire from within. And that is what then motivates you forward. Because when you understand what happens on the inside. Now you can make informed choices as to whether you are or are not going to consume that particular thing. And if you have that goal in mind in regards to the destination that you want to reach, and you have that desire within that is it, you're focused, you're on that goal, and nothing is going to deviate you from that path. And then you also have the tools within your fingertips to be able to make that happen and still enjoy the foods that you're eating. Then that's the only choice that you will make, because it's congruent with the desire that you have to reach the goal that you want to. And if you don't have that desire deep enough, if you're not one with your goal, if it's not fused with you, then you will continue to slip or fall or go back to the old ways, because you haven't changed your mindset and your desire isn't strong enough. Your want isn't big enough. So, oftentimes you've heard the story of people who have smoked for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and they get a diagnosis of cancer, lung cancer, or whatever. And that's it. They quit cold turkey because their want is big enough for them to change their self-image. And it's only then that they can shift from what they were doing to what they want to be, because the want is big enough, it's strong enough. Then you also have the same story where someone has smoked for 30, 40 years and receives the diagnosis, and within 6 weeks, they're no longer here on this planet because they chose to just accept that on such a degree that they just gave up. They didn't even try fighting. It was a death sentence. It was doomsday, and they didn't even try. And that actually accelerated their demise. So the mind is powerful in every single thing that you're doing. It all starts from there.
Absolutely. And so again, you're talking about how it's our want, our desire being strong enough, but you also say that usually it comes along with somebody getting a prognosis or a diagnosis that this is what's happening to you, and if you don't change or else, and it's that point we make the change, we make that decision. But I'd love to, myself
it's not
included,
always that.
I'd love for myself included to be and able to help other people reach that point before they get to that, that doctor saying, look, you have to do this. How do we change? I want us to be able to maybe open our eyes a little sooner, maybe have that desire hit us a little sooner, so that we don't have to have these ill health effects before we make that change.
And it doesn't always only happen with a diagnosis. There's many instances, for many different reasons, that people come to understand that they want to change, that they need to change, that they desire to change. And it can even be someone else, a friend or family member who received a diagnosis. And that's kind of their wake-up call because somebody else got a diagnosis or, was in a car accident or, a freak thing that took their life. And that can just resonate with someone personally and say, you know what? We don't know how much more time we're going to have. We never know when our number is up. It could be tonight, tomorrow, the next day, 30, 40, 50 years from now. You have no idea. You have no idea. And even if you take the best care of your health, you have no idea. Because when your number's up, they say. So it can be coming from a life experience. Either, someone else had an experience, and then the person themselves decides that now's the time. They want a different outcome, and they're committed to making the change, and that's what's going to happen.
Thank you. Again, thank you for that. Because that's what it boils down to, is when are you willing to make that change? When are you willing to commit and live? Because it is that lifestyle change. When are you willing to realize that this lifestyle is what I have to adopt or have to become in order to get to that next level or make the change you're desiring to change?
So, and sometimes it's as easy as the kids growing up and people finding that they have a little bit more independence. They have a little bit more time on their hands because the children aren't so dependent, or they find that, they're in a different situation in their life. There's many, many reasons why people will choose to step into a healthier lifestyle and many different reasons and many different scenarios. So it's not there isn't a cookie cutter or, as I say, a cookbook method as to A plus B equals C.
Right.
It's many different people from different walks of life and different scenarios find themselves choosing to create a new lifestyle for better outcomes.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. Thank you for your participation here today. And then for your participation at the Better Body, Mind, and Soul Summit. So you offered us a couple of programs, your five down challenge, or can you tell me what that one is? And then you have a free gift for people as well.
Sure. The 5 pounds in 5 days challenge is
That's
where I host 5 evenings. Yeah, 5 evenings, live group coaching on Zoom. And I do teaching. We do live interaction with the participants as well, and have a whole lot of fun. And just open people's minds to different ways that getting healthy isn't hard. Getting healthy isn't just salads and birdseed and rabbit food. That getting healthy incorporates all aspects of living, nourishing your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because you can eat well 100% of the time, but if other areas of your life are stressed, your body still won't function optimally. And that's the title of the book, Nourishing Your Mind, Body, and Spirit Naturally. And so you can sign up for the free 5 pounds in 5 days challenge. Just go to 5poundsin5dayschallenge.com. I can put that in the chat here.
And I think that'll be the chat here for Zoom. We'll make sure it's up on YouTube where we're going live with this. So that people, it might actually go out to the Zoom live link. I think it might have. But we'll make sure people have the link for that and for the free ebook as well, so they can get in touch with you.
Excellent. And the free guide is my 10 down guide, 10 simple steps that you can implement just 10 minutes at a time to heal your health naturally. And it covers everything from your rise and shine in the morning to your bedtime routine to get a great night's sleep and everything in between. There's also a YouTube link for a chair yoga session, a head to toe stretching routine. There's also a musical meditation that you can utilize as well, and a convenient sheet on the back that you can print off and put on the fridge or the bathroom mirror, and everything else is in the middle. And you can just go to 10down10days.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for being with us. I know you said you had to leave with us early, so I know you won't be sticking around with me while we talk to Joe, but thank you for all your participation in our community and in the events as well. And I'm sure people will be seeing more of you from the Beacon of Leadership platform. So thank you for being a part of this.
Oh, thank you so much, RJ. Great to see you, Curtis. Nice to see you here. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Good to
I'm
catch
used
up.
to seeing you in person. It's nice to see your happy face, at least virtually, as the saying goes. So I'm happy that you're here. I look forward to one day we can get back together, either at Private Investment Club or Toronto Women's Club, or maybe one day we go for a picnic together. It's nice to see everybody here again. Yeah.
Did you have a question for Dr. Stacy Curtis while you were checking in?
No, we covered it on Saturday, all the questions, so it's all good. Go check out the replay on the YouTube channel there. Find out the interviews.
And so, yeah, that's another thing is that, and so our guests here are given free VIP gifts, but you'll only get those if you register VIP. So that ebook, you'll get that if you go to the Dr. Stacy's page, 10 Down 10 Days. You can download the ebook. But she gave us a consultation session as well. You can only get that if you're a VIP. So I want to recommend people join the VIP. We're now giving it VIP out at $147 is the regular price for the remainder of the year. We give you $50 off when you register at beaconofleadership.com. So please, it's now $97 with our $50 discount to become a VIP, but we highly recommend it. You've got all those VIP gifts. You're now a VIP for a lifetime within our Beacon of Leadership community. And so all of those VIP perks that we're giving out at this event and any other event that comes forward, you're a VIP and involved in those gifts as well. So please get the VIP package, beaconofleadership.com to register for that. And then so you've just heard Joe Grow joining us. He was with us again on Saturday, teaching about loving yourself. I love that topic. Thank you for joining us today, Joe. Thank you for telling us more about what you have going on and what you brought out to teach us on Saturday at Better Body, Mind, and Soul.
Thank you very much.
Joe.
So Joe, thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out Saturday. Tell us a little bit more about what you had to teach on Saturday. You were talking about loving yourself. Why is that so important?
I think it's extremely important, and I can latch on. I got into the tail end of the conversation with Dr. Stacy talking about being healthy and whether it's losing weight or needing to stop smoking, all of that. And through my own experiences and trauma that I had to deal and overcome in my life, I understand the importance of how you feel about yourself and what you say to yourself. If you've had a very good childhood, and some would call it normal, but what is normal? Normal means so many different things to different people. But I would use the word healthy, nurturing childhood where you're told nice things. And in the introduction to the course, I talked about the story of Joey and Johnny. Joey had a childhood where he was told that he can't do anything well in life. He'll end up in jail one day. He's good for nothing. We wish he was never born. Johnny, on the other hand, was told affirming things that his parents are proud of him. They're glad that he was born. He can do anything and nothing is too hard for him. Nothing's too impossible for him. So when you talk about things like losing weight or doing well in business or doing well in relationships, if you keep saying to yourself, this isn't going to work, nothing I've ever done has ever worked. It's too hard. It's too impossible. I can't do it. I don't measure up. I'm not as good as the other person in the street or in the room. I'm not as good as Joe. I'm not as good as Curtis. I'm not as good as RG. I'm not as good as Dr. Stacy. Then how do you feel that would work in enabling you to achieve high results? Even if you achieve high results, you will sabotage yourself because you don't feel that you deserved it. It was just lucky. So you're going to do something to mess it up. So in my opinion, what is very, very important is having respect for yourself, loving yourself enough that you expect high things. So what you eat, what you drink, what you do, how you exercise, how you don't exercise, what you say to yourself, the little mind, those little words of what you say to yourself. In case you're wondering, what little words? The little words that's saying right now, what is Joe talking about? Those little words inside when it's called a self-talk. You're either saying nice things to yourself or you're saying things that are not lifting you up. So because you've said it so much in your life, it's become normal. Some people don't even know the difference between are there good things you're saying to yourself or bad things. So it comes down to how do you feel about yourself? So whether you like yourself, love yourself, how you treat yourself comes down to the clothes you wear, to whether you shower every day, to whether you use deodorant, to whether you brush your teeth, or whether you floss your teeth, whether you polish your shoes, whether you change your socks, whether you change your underwear, how often do you laundry, how often you clean your home, how often you wash the sink. All those things play a part in how you feel about yourself. Whether someone says they're coming over to visit, say, oh, you make an excuse because your house is a mess. Why do you have to clean it when someone comes over to visit? Why can't it be clean all the time? Because you're special at home, the place should be clean. So those all play a part. I didn't talk about all that, but I talk about all that in the course. Those are all things that relate directly to how we feel about ourselves. So if we feel that we deserve the best in life, we will get the best in life and it'll be easy to get it. If we don't feel we deserve the best in life because of our past and we believe that the past will determine the future, then we won't achieve a lot. It all starts with inside of ourselves. It's an inside job. How do we feel about ourselves? So if you don't understand what that means, then you need a coach, a mentor, a role model to run alongside of you that has what you do not have. So if you know, if you're a man that has his act together, if people want to call it that, and you say, I'd like to be like that, then you either befriend them or you employ their services to teach and coach you, mentor you to become the way you want to become. If you're a woman, then you find the lady that has her act together, whether how she walks, talks, acts, dresses, whatever. In my particular case, when it comes to health, I'm on my 5th year in October for not eating meat. I do not eat chicken, pork, lamb, veal, steak. I don't eat any of that. I don't eat hamburgers. I don't eat any of that. Why did that happen? It started from a video that I watched several years ago called What the Health. And it talked about the dangers of eating meat, how it rapidly increases your aging. So I still struggle with sugar, but I've dramatically removed that. I've learned that sugar is worse than animal meat. So I've been able to give up ice cream and chocolate. I still struggle with cookies, pies, and muffins, but I've dramatically reduced it to the point of several things completely eliminate from what I'm eating because how I feel about me. If I don't care about me, if I don't like or love myself, then I'll just eat anything. Just put anything inside, like I'm a garbage can with a hairy lid. You know what I mean? It sounds funny, but that's what I'm doing. If I respect myself, then I'm going to be careful what I put inside here. Comes down to what you eat, what you drink. So our body is 70-75% water. We should be consuming food that contains 70-75% water. Does a hot dog have 70-75% water? Does a hamburger? Does a steak, pork chop, lamb, veal, any of that? Does it? We already know the answer. So you decide, will this lift me up or will I feel the pain later? So if you respect yourself, love yourself, and believe you deserve the best, then you're going to make a decision what goes inside here. You're going to make a decision, do I exercise or not? You're going to make a decision, do I smoke that cigarette? Do I smoke that marijuana? Do I take that cocaine? Do I get drunk so much I can't even stand? You're going to make those decisions because how you feel about yourself. But if you've been struggling for many, many decades, it's not a magical moment that happens because you're going to now need to figure out, well, how do I think differently? How do I talk differently? Walk differently, eat differently? It's a dramatic change. If you've been used to eating hamburger, steaks, pork chops, whatever, you're going to go, what do we eat now? You need to study and figure, well, what am I going to do now? But if you believe that it's going to be a better choice, and if you care about yourself and you want to live on the planet longer, like Dr. Stacy said, you never know what's going to happen. No one knows, only God knows. So you could say when the number's up, but when God makes that decision, I have a strong faith in God. I just had COVID for 3 weeks. I never thought it would happen. So that's a mistake people make. They think they're too proud, nothing can happen. You realize it humbled me. And I read my Bible regularly. In the Bible, one day I was reading about Isaiah said to King Hezekiah, get your fears in order, you're going to die. And it hit me because when the first few days of COVID, I thought I was knocking on death's door. So it really shows how fragile life is and tender and delicate. You don't know what's going to hit you. You prepare as best you can, but we're not God. He makes that decision. In the Bible, Hezekiah humbled himself and prayed to worship the God and wept, and God gave him another 15 years. So I was in the kitchen. I was still weak, so weak, thinking, I can't die yet. I have too many projects to do. My book's not finished yet. I got to be at RJ's event. I got a whole pile of things to do. I can't die yet. So I'm here, right? So whether God gives me another 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't know. But the key is making the most of what you have. So when it comes to health, you make the decision because you want to live a long, healthy, happy life. That's why I did it. I've been asked many times, Joe, why don't you eat meat? Because I want to live a long, healthy, happy life. Then I tell them about the video I watched. And was it hard for me to make that change? No, I don't crave meat. I crave sweet things. You put an apple pie in front of me, I have a problem. You put a steak in front of me, I have no craving. You could fill my whole office here with cocaine. Do I struggle with it? No. You could fill it with marijuana. I don't struggle with it. You could fill it with whiskey. I don't struggle with any of that. You could fill it with beer, cigarettes. I don't care. Now, apple pie, then I got a problem. Or muffin or cookie, oatmeal cookie. So we all have different things that we struggle with. I have friends, watch them drink 16 beers, and even some friends drink 4 bottles of wine, and they're so drunk and they act like zombies. To me, that's a turnoff. That totally turns me off of them because they act like zombies. That's why I'm not interested in getting drunk. I'm not, because I've seen what it looks like. So I've learned this from Tony Robbins. We do things to either gain pleasure or to avoid pain. So if that chocolate bar, you associate pain with it because you know how you're going to feel the next day, or because the extra pounds you gain, then you're not going to want to eat it. But if you associate pleasure with it, you're going to eat it.
Yep.
So if you want to break a habit, you need to associate pain and evil with it. Or how are you going to break it? How are you going to keep doing something if you love it but it's bad for you? And it's biblical. We're supposed to love what's good and hate what's evil. It's good to hate something if it's bad for you and it's evil.
Yep.
So I didn't have a script going, but you got me on a roll. And I wasn't even sure if I'm going to be here. I went to the dentist today. I thought it was going to be a half an hour appointment. I left you a message earlier.
Yeah.
Ended up being 2 hours. My
Oh,
nose
my.
and my face here was so sore. I was in Hamilton. Usually I like going to Hamilton Williams Cafe on the harbor. I love it there. I had to get home. I was in so much pain. It felt like someone hit me, and I was in a boxing ring. My nose was so sore. So I was praying and hoping that I'd be okay. And then I tried to log in. I had a problem logging in, but I thought, no, I'm not going to give up. I got to be here, whether I'm here for 5 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever. So one thing about my life, it's never boring. There's always something interesting going on to make it fascinating. So I believe that loving, to answer your question, to kind of sum it up, is very important. I've done some other courses I've put together on forgiveness. That's very important. That helps you to heal from the wounds of the past. So if you had a fairly smooth childhood where you were treated with love, honor, and respect, then maybe you're not dealing with these kind of issues. But for someone that was traumatized and was abused or misused or disrespected, or someone hurt them, and they're holding on to unforgiveness, if you don't understand how to do that, that can manifest itself in serious health conditions, mental and physical and emotional. And then people resort to other things to self-medicate and get addictions. And men have a problem with not confiding in someone and having a close friend, like the one essential friend they should have. And then they isolate, and then they're in so much emotional pain, they turn to drugs or alcohol or eating or other things. And then the problem now, from being a number 3, from 1 to 10, becomes a 7. And then it could even escalate to even higher, to the point of suicide thoughts and suicide, because they didn't forgive someone that hurt them when they were 6 years old or 7 years old or whatever happened. So that's very, very important.
Can I ask you then, Joe? Because I love that what you just said. You have to forgive them. It's one of, if you ever watched a Medea movie, that's one of her favorite expressions. Her, Tyler Perry, him, however you want to call him. It's one of his favorite expressions, that you got to forgive them, not for them, but for yourself, right? Because if we're not forgiving whoever did this wrong to us, or well, that's all we think about, we manifest on that. We focus so much on that all it's doing is bringing us pain and us harm. And really, the person who did it to us probably doesn't even realize they've done it. They don't realize how much it's been affecting you. So it's not doing them any justice, and it's not doing you any justice to have this pain or hatred or anger towards somebody for something wrong they've did.
I agree with part of what you said. You said have to. We don't have to do anything in this world. But if you choose that you want to forgive the person, big difference. It comes out of a desire, a genuine desire to want to, comes out of then compassion and care, because you're now thinking about, why did that person act the way they did? Maybe they had a poor childhood. maybe they're in pain, and they are now acting in a manner direct result of how they feel about what's going on in their life. How could someone act with love, sweetness, and kindness when they've got massive turmoil going on inside of them? Yeah, how could that work? It's like trying to shove down a volcano. Stay down there. No, stay down there. Well, they haven't released the volcano and dealt with the anger, the bitterness, the shame, the trauma, because they didn't know how. They don't know how. It's easy to say to someone, forgive someone, and they say, I'll forgive them. But there's a lot more to it than that. Just to say, I forgive you, when you don't even understand how to forgive the person, how to do it. It's like me telling you, speak Greek. And then you pretend to speak Greek, but you don't know how to speak Greek. You need to take a course, you need training. So for me to tell you, forgive the person that hurt you, you say, I forgive them. Well, what does that mean? You don't even know what the word means. I'm not saying you personally, but someone. And they'll even know the process. The course I taught was actually 10 weeks long. So for me to teach someone in 10 minutes, now you're going to forgive, I'm going to sprinkle dust in your head. Now you know how to forgive and you're forgiving the person. There's more to it than that, a lot more. And I taught another course called The Pursuit of Purpose. So in my opinion, that's even the most important thing, is to know why God created you. Why were you put on this earth? If you know why you're put on this earth, then you're willing to do more significant things. Your goals become bigger. You're willing to endure pain to achieve things. I talk about the book about, here's the book here, is I talk about this book and I show it to people, Viktor Frankl. He was in a concentration camp. How do you endure that? Because he was looking at the personal outcome of the benefit of being there, and that there's meaning in suffering. And then here, you know what a lot of people worry about? Most of the people, you know what they worry about, RGs? Oh, I wonder what they think about me. I wonder what that person thinks about me. I better not set my goals too high. People might laugh at me. They might think I'm an idiot. So I read this book here 4 times, and this helped me understand that, I don't know if it turns out the right way, but it says, what you think of me is none of my business. I read this book 4 times. Very, very good book. When I come across a good book, I don't read it once. I read it 4 times. And so it sinks in because I want to grasp more of what's going on. So if you don't like yourself, love yourself, then it all comes down to how you manage your money too. Because how many people I've met, they pay their bills first. They pay their bills first. How are you ever going to save money if you pay your bills first? But I was guilty of this most of my life, because how many courses are we taught in school how to budget money? How many people know how to budget money? Why is paying bills bad? First, because what about having money for food? What about having money for gas? What about having money in an emergency fund? Now gas is $2 a liter. Who would the heck would ever thought? So why would we pay all the other bills first, and then if we got anything left over, set aside some money for gas or food? Do you know I've met people that make over 100,000 a year and have gone to the food bank? Why the heck is that? Because they don't even know how to manage their money. They're working in a job where they're getting high wages, but they don't know how to manage their money. You know what I've learned? It doesn't matter how much money you earn. You could even be making minimum wage and have more money set aside and more financial understanding than someone that's making 200,000 or 300,000 a year, because you treat money with respect, because you treat yourself with respect. If you don't treat yourself with respect, then you're not going to treat money with respect, and money will fly away because you don't know how to handle it.
I love where you went with this, Joe. It all boils down to how you feel about yourself, how you respect yourself, and how you act upon that respect of yourself. And usually that will help improve those other areas, the physical well-being, the spiritual mindset, and other areas that will help you develop as a more quality person.
The more you get to know me, the more you know I read. Here's another book that helped me. I went to the seminar. Do you know how many times I went to the seminar? 6 times.
I've been twice.
6 times to get it. 6 times it took me to get it. Not once, 6 times. And I still didn't get it after 6 times. It's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harvecker. He had seminars called Intensive, 3-day
The Millionaire Mind
Intensive.
Intensive. Yeah.
Yeah, there were seminars 3 days long, 12 hours. The first 2 days, and the third day was a Sunday. It was not as long, but very intense. So he talks about in there what you say to yourself and how often you need to say it until you finally believe it.
Yeah.
If you've been told that you're no good, you'll never amount to anything as a child, and then you keep repeating it yourself and you start believing it, what's going to happen in your life? How are you going to achieve? If, on the other hand, you've been told, hopefully by parents, if not by them, by mentor, you were destined to achieve high success. Nothing's impossible for you. You can do anything you set your mind to. I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm glad you were created. What a difference. If you're told it over and over and over again, and you start believing it, and then you're told by your mom and dad that I love you, I'm proud of you, you're a miracle, God knew what he was doing and made you. If you're told those kind of things and you believe it, do you get a grasp how different your life will go?
Yeah.
Versus the other hand, if you think to yourself, wow, I'm always screwing up. My mom and dad were right. I was a mistake. I might as well not even try, because when I try, I always fail. So why would I even get out of bed? I might as well stay in bed all day.
Yep.
So for someone to say, do this, without understanding if the person's struggling with feeling low about themselves, that should be dealt with. Or you kind of got the cart before the horse. That needs to be dealt with. The inner voice. Some of us are still children, but we're adults, if you know
Yep.
what I mean.
Yep.
I asked a guy a little while ago, he says, we're going to retire. So I said to him, do you know what you're going to do when you grow up? And he laughed at me. But do you know how many of us haven't even grown up yet? It doesn't matter age. Age has nothing to do with it. You know, another excuse people is I'm too old. I'm too old. I had a guy 32 told me that. Oh, my back hurts. I'm getting old. I said, you say that one more time, I'm going to punch you in the head. Old. You're younger than me, and you can't even do the exercises I do.
Yep. Yeah. And so age is just a number. There's no doubt about that. But again, I think, like you say, it boils down to the respect we give ourselves and the respect of our abilities. And do I want to do this? Am I willing to do this? And taking that and moving it forward. But I think starting with loving yourself and the way you appreciate yourself certainly puts us in a better position.
For sure. I
Yes,
agree.
if you care about yourself, then you're willing to set goals that are high. Now, there's a balance, but high achievers, that word doesn't exist. Elon Musk, is his life in balance? There's no such thing as balance in his life. If you're an Olympic athlete, balance, that word doesn't exist, because all your thoughts and efforts go towards achieving your goal. But it doesn't mean you're going to do it the rest of your life. But if you look at someone like Elon Musk, I don't hear him talking about, I'm so depressed, I'm so down, I don't know why God made me, I don't know my purpose. He definitely knows his purpose. Look at what he's created. Like, he's an extremely high achiever, but I'm showing it as an example. If you know your purpose, then you're not wondering, what am I going to do today? You know what you're going to do. No one needs to tell you that. If you like yourself, you're got energy because you're eating properly, you're exercising, you know the ultimate answer where you're going when you die tomorrow. You got all that figured out. It's not a 10-minute fix. It could take decades to figure that out. But if you have a role model, if you don't have it figured out to help you, it makes it much easier. In my personal life, it took me many decades to figure this out, to talk with confidence, to say if someone's sitting beside me that's got trauma so severe, I could guide them and help them, but it's not a 10-minute thing. It takes time, but the person needs to be willing. Some people are in trauma, but they're stuck. They don't want to get out because it's their comfort zone. They keep wanting to tell their story about how much pain they're in. So for them to change, that needs to change. You got to stop talking about how much pain you're in and talk about the sunshine, the rainbows, instead of the thunder clouds and the storms always hitting your life. You're always in crisis mode.
Totally agree. I have friends again on both sides of that pendulum. You know what I mean? I have friends who talk about but this is the way it is for me. Oh, this is the way my life is. Oh, this is what I have to deal with. And then I've got other friends who are like, you know what? Yeah, but okay, but look how great it is for you. Oh, but look at look at the good things you have going on. Look at what's happening in your life right now. Yes, it's a change, but yes, you know what I mean? So by experiencing these things but there's still happiness, there's still joy surrounding us. You can experience them differently. So thank you
I
for that,
agree.
Joe.
Just a couple more things I could say that has helped me. Probably my healing process helped me the most is the word thankfulness or gratitude. I started a gratitude journal. How many times I was told, I thought, oh, well, how could that really help? It's probably one of the most powerful things that have helped me, because when you're being grateful, how easy is it to be grateful for the trauma you've encountered, the hurt, the gossip, the rejection that you have handled? How can you be thankful for that? How that sounds so stupid and sadistic to put in your gratitude journal. I'm so thankful for Mary Jones that rejected me. I'm so thankful for the job I got fired at. I'm so thankful for the sale that I thought was going to go through, didn't go through. And you're going, that sounds stupid. No, it's biblical. And why would I say that? It's right in the Bible. We're supposed to be thankful in everything.
Yep. But
you know how many times I heard that sermon and it went from one ear and out the other? At the church I'm going to, the pastor had that sermon one day, and I'm actually tired that day. I'm almost falling asleep sitting in the back. All of a sudden, he said, we need to be thankful for everything and everyone, even for someone that condemned us, judged us, criticized, gossiped us about us, and rejected us. I said, what? Are you talking to me here? That's what I felt like saying. That changed me so much. I put together a talk on thankfulness at a men's breakfast coming up. That was the rest of the healing I needed. It sounds so wacky, but it's the most powerful thing that happened for a positive transformation in my life. I met a girl, just tell one this thing. Someone a couple years ago, she told me her mother abused her so much, the stick she used on her broke. I said, have you forgiven your mother? She said, yeah. Do you love your mother? She said, no. So how can you forgive but not love? Coming back to what I was saying, do they know what the word forgiveness means? She doesn't. It's easy to say it. So you were going to say something, but you got me in a roll. Yeah, I came on the right time. I had a chance to rest. If I hadn't rested, I couldn't be. I'm feeling great and energetic and saying the things that I've
all
learned.
I was going to go into is that look, I love that you say gratitude. We have to be grateful for all of the things that come to us, whether good or bad. And it's hard to look at those negative things and go, yeah, well, I'm grateful that I didn't get the job that I interviewed today. I'm grateful that I don't have enough money to feed my kids today. You know what I mean? Hard to think of it in those terms, but what Curtis and I do, I know we do this personally, is what is the lesson here to be learned, right? What is it I'm learning from this situation? And so maybe it's not from a place of gratitude so much as what have I learned from this? What can I take from this in order to make it more positive or more affirmational, rather than something that is hitting you going, this is my life, this is just who I am, such is life around me, right? So it's a different way to grasp it and a different way to set your framework.
Again, you use the word have to. We don't have to do anything. If you say, I want to be grateful, let's say you got a check today for 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever it is. I'm grateful for that check. And if your gratitude is shown in the wisdom you use and how you handle that check. I'm grateful for my wife or husband. I'm thankful for the rain today because I needed it for my plants, my tomatoes. I'm thankful for the snow. It looks so beautiful. I'm thankful for my car. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for the rejection I got because it brought me closer to God to look for compassion, to comfort me. How many people turn to God when everything's going smooth? They don't think they know God. Do you know how many times I've heard this saying, God helps those who help themselves? I don't agree with that. God helps those who can't help themselves. There's story after story in the Bible where God helped people that couldn't help themselves.
Yeah.
So people that don't need God's help eventually get humbled and look to God. I was surprised, one of the biggest rock stars in the world. You ever heard of the group Foreigner?
Yep.
Lou Graham?
I don't know them by their names,
The
but
lead,
yeah.
the lead singer, Lou Graham. Look him up. Graham, Lou. One of the mays became a Christian. I don't know when, but I'm listening to his songs. He lived a high rolling life of drugs and alcohol, on and on and on. He totally looks different than when he looked as a young rocker. He had together, he's still a great singer, but he came to the end of himself and eventually realized he needed God. And now he's singing songs about praising, worshiping God. I listened last night till 1 a.m. I was really amazed. He's an incredible singer, like above and beyond. So if we like and care about ourselves, love ourselves, respect ourselves, our goals will not be small goals because we're looking at who created us and why we're here. God didn't put us here to think and act small at all, not even close. You won't be setting small goals because you'd be looking at anything's possible, anything. So you won't be worrying about what other people are thinking about you. Who the heck cares? There's only two people that matters what they think about you, and that's yourself and God. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It matters what you think about yourself and what God thinks. Who made you? We didn't make ourselves. There's a creator of the universe. He made us. He has a plan. And if you don't know what the plan is, you'll be wandering around all your whole life like the Israelites wandered around with Moses for 40 years because they were constantly complaining. There's one thing God does not like is complainers. He loves when people are thankful. If you keep complaining, and complaining, your life will be a constant whirlpool of wandering around and wandering around. The more we're grateful, it's amazing what happens. When you put trust in God, the money multiplies, the benefits multiply, and you get blessings from directions you had nothing to do with.
Mhm.
You know?
Thank you, Joe. Look, this was not supposed to be a deep intensive into your interview, but kind of worked out that way. Only because you had a lot to share on this subject. But again, Joe, thank you for coming out. Thank you for being with us today on what is our first episode of more to come from Beacon of Leadership. Thank you also for being a part of the Better Body, Mind, and Soul event and everything you taught us there. You're offering a free consultation for our VIPs, correct?
Yes.
And you do have a course. What was your course again? 9 weeks?
Yes, I actually have a button for it on my website now. So when someone wants to order it, and there are many bonuses. One of the bonuses is coaching session with me, discount on coaching with me, discounts on products that I represent, NutriWay systems, healthy products to stay healthy, water filters, air filters, juicers, cookware, mattresses, as well a membership to Barter Pay, which is over 4,000, almost 5,000 members across Canada, business members, where they trade products and services on barter. So you would have access at the membership regular price is 500. I'm including that as well in there. So there's some advantages, and I would give access discounts to future courses as well. So there's opportunities there for someone that feels my life's just not working out and they don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
What's your website, Joe?
themastermindgroup.ca, themastermindgroup.ca. So, and I have testimonials on my website as well, people that I've helped. After recuperating from the COVID, I worked more on my book, so it's getting very close to being completed. It's an inspirational book about the ant.
Got you. Thank you for that. And we'll post that out too on the links, so that people can connect back with you. Again, you did offer a consultation for any of our BIPs. We'll be connecting people with you for that shortly. And that's more the reason, folks, why, look, if you want to get in on these consultation sessions, you need to be a VIP. We've tried to get everybody in at the best price we can offer them. Now it's going to be $97 when you register at beaconofleadership.com. It's $147, but we're going to give you $50 off when you register to become a VIP founding member of Beacon of Leadership. And that's VIP for life. Anybody who signs up in 2022 is going to be a VIP for life. And you'll always receive the VIP treatment of all of our events, including the swag pack that Joe's contributed his consultation to. So you'll want to get that beaconofleadership.com. And we'll make sure, Joe, like I said, to have all the links out there so people can get back to you, and use code BETTER22 if you want to purchase Joe's products. Let him know that you've come from Beacon of Leadership and a Better Body, Mind, and Soul event. So thank you, Joe, again for being a part of that, and thank you for joining us to be a part of our first episode today.
Well, thanks for having me on today. I had no script, but you got me in a roll, so I gave you a smorgasbord of ideas and inspiration, and thanks for having me come on, the invitation. I look forward to the time soon where we can meet again in person, hopefully at the same hotel we were meeting before, or maybe we go to the lake and have a picnic. That would be nice.
I've been thinking of the same thing, a nice barbecue or something to get us back together and get us involved, and maybe with a collaborative initiative behind it, it might be something very interesting to see where it goes.
Well, one of my favorite cafes has closed down. It was on the lake called Cafe Coco, and now there's a manicure place there, but there's still a nice cafe not far, right at the lake shore in Etobicoke. So by the lake would be so beautiful to have a get together, even just for a fun time to get together, you know.
So,
but it was enjoyable. I'm happy to see you guys. And hi, Curtis. And he looks like one of the members of a YouTube group with his cap on there. What's his name? His nickname's The Edge.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. That has been episode number 1. Curtis, do you have anything to add here before we leave today?
I like Joe's talk about doing gratitude, even though it's negative. It's like one of the things I looked into called negative positivity. It's where you can be overly positive about something, and then sometimes you got to look at the negative in order to become more positive. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, it's being a transformer, is transforming the negative into a positive. What's the good in this? What good can come from this so-called crisis? Rather than it defeating you, why not become so strong and powerful that the problem is smaller than you? Why let the problem become bigger than you? If you're someone like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and if you got a $10,000 problem, a $100,000 problem, that's pretty tiny. That's like throwing a nickel. So if you become so big that the problem is small, rather than the problem becoming bigger than you, figure out a way to overcome your issues so well so you can teach others how to overcome theirs, rather than just trying to overcome it to benefit you. Why not try and benefit others because you were able to go through so much immense pain that you now can teach courses, which is what I'm doing. So when I went through my pain, I'm thinking, I need to go through it so I can teach others. And that's what I'm doing. Rather than I hope I can get through this one day. No, I hope I can get through this so I can teach others how to overcome their stuff. Big difference.
Absolutely.
Big difference.
Absolutely.
That's called big thinking. That's called who cares what others think. That's called who the heck cares? I don't want to worry about what they think. I did it so much in my life. It's a waste of time because they're not thinking about me. How much do they think about me? I wish they thought more about me, especially when I'm chasing women. I'm single. I wish they thought more about me. They weren't. They didn't care. They were chasing RJ.
Look, you got me all red faced now. Shh, don't tell my wife.
Heads up.
But yeah, no, thank you. It's definitely a different way to look at it, different way to approach things, and put things in a more positive light. So help you lead that better life. So thank you, Joe, for that. Thank you for
Okay.
everything you've done so far in this community, and we'll make sure that people do get back to you and take advantage of some of your programs and some of our VIP options. So thank you for everything you've done in our community so far.
Okay, appreciate it. So you guys have a wonderful night.
You too. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay. Make it a
Thank
strong
you.
one. Make it a strong end. We always called it in sales, this is the strong end. Not the weekend, the strong end.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
So thank you, guys. We are
Okay.
Beacon of Leadership. You can find us again, beaconofleadership.com. You'll get $50 off our VIP membership. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, I'm RJ Horner, along with Curtis Leong. We are Beacon of Leadership. Until next time, better days ahead.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Look now.